brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. Now it's sippin' time.
Welcome. Yep, this is good old gal Julieanna. I know this is not a Suds episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
How do you know?
Because I'm looking at bottles that
don't have beer in
don't look like beer.
And I also can't feel my molars anymore, so I feel like...
You feel good?
Yeah.
Good.
Medicinal even.
Someone feel his molars for him.
Open up, Sparky.
Welcome to a Sips, you heard that right, a Sips episode where everything good in life is worth discussing. I am your hostess, good old gal Julieanna, and with me today at the table is good old boy Dave.
Hey, that's me.
It is you.
Hi, me and everyone.
Hi, you.
Okay.
Cool.
There we go. Moving on.
Good old boy Kendall.
It's a pleasure.
Can you believe we're doing
more sips.
Sips?
This might be the last one, though. I don't think they're going to let us do anymore.
No, we ruined it up.
You're certainly ruining it for me.
Oh, that's love right there.
That was a lot.
Good old boy Sparky.
There's a lot of truthiness in that. Buongiorno.
There's truth in Amaro.
Oh, wait, these are all American, aren't they?
They're American.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Buongiorno.
They're not Italian.
That's the Olive Garden version.
Yeah, that's the, yeah, exactly.
That is. Good old gal Cary Ann. Hi.
Hi. I am so happy to be talking about spirits. Coming to crash a Suds episode.
She misses the malt liquor.
She does. Yes.
They tricked me by that liquor word.
Oh,
I thought we were here for single malts.
I like malt and I like liquor. What could go wrong? Champagne.
So
crazy.
many things.
Just crazy.
We didn't have champagne.
Shame.
We tried.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do it again.
Next time. Yes.
Oh, God.
Malt liquor 2.
Totally.
Maltier
Electric Boogaloo.
and more liquory.
More liquory pleasure. Well, our Sips segments are all about wine, distilled spirits, tea, and coffee. This episode is kind of cool. It is Merica and Amaro. Dum, dum, dum. We will be discussing, tasting, and discussing 10 Amari from the United States. How cool is that? But before we get into this episode, this segment is brought to you by
The law offices of Scratchers J. Scratcherton. Are you a kitty or a puppy who identifies as kitty? Do you need an attorney? Well, come on down to the law offices of Scratchers J. Scratcherton. Scratchers J. Scratcherton, attorney at law. She'll fight for her clients and give injustice the claw. Scratchers J. Scratcherton is not licensed to practice law in any of the 50 states.
good old boy Kendall. Would you do us the honors of going over our Sips ratings for today?
I would be delighted. Our Sips ratings are 1. Give me a glass of water to wash out my mouth.
Gangazine, water. Gangazine, bring water. Bring water.
2. Nice. But what else do you have?
Well, isn't that nice?
3. Interesting. What was that again? 4. Let's keep this secret to ourselves. Pour me another.
That's classified.
And 5. Oh my. I was unaware anything could be this good.
Oh my goodness.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Okay.
Let's all just reflect on that for a moment.
No.
That is so much different than the Suds ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never listen to the Suds ratings quite in the same
Yeah.
way again.
It really is different.
Yeah.
I feel a little cheated.
Wow.
He's been holding out on us this whole time.
Crazy. It's all good old boy Mike's fault, as usual, right? Okay. Good old gal Cary. Anne, would you mind?
Nice dramatic pause there.
I was going to say something else, and it just didn't happen.
Cary and
Would
Both
you
of
mind?
us are here.
Would you mind doing us the honor of listing all of these wonderfully, beautifully American Amari?
We're going in a row before we talk about them.
We're just
How's the plan?
just do that.
Just do that.
Just do that you do.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
We're starting out with Letherbee Fernet. Letherbee Distillers are out of Chicago, Illinois. They are good friends of mine. I love their Fernet. No bias. Next.
Subtle.
See what just happened there.
Yep.
Ta-da. Number one. Next, we're going to the Tattersall Amaro, and they are out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tattersall Distilling Company. Then we have Cinque Apertivo from these guys, Donciccioefigli and Figli. They sound Italian. And they are from Washington, D.C. Then we have Lockhouse Amaro. No, I skipped one. Oh, Lockhouse Amaro is Lockhouse Distillery out of Buffalo. Then,
Made with bits of real buffalo.
Oh, I thought it was like the Wild Wings. Green Bar, Grand Poppy.
Big Poppy.
Poppies.
Poison poppies.
Green Bar Distillery is from LA, California.
The milk of the poppy.
Breckenridge Bitter. Breckenridge Distillery is from Breckenridge, Colorado.
What?
Crazy.
That is a true story. Amaro Aplomado is from
Gesundheit.
Falcon Spirits. Falcon is out of Richmond, California.
Oh, yeah.
Then we have balsamic vinegar. No, wait. What is that? Balsam American Amaro. And they are from Glenshaw, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Pure Distillers.
Woohoo!
Go on. And then out of Charleston, not their best offering.
Oh, come on now.
Charleston has some good stuff going on.
And they have this.
And they have this. Southern Amaro liqueur
We're just kidding,
from
folks. It's a
Highwire
comedy show.
Distilling Company. Bless their
Yeah.
hearts.
Yes, it's really great.
Wow, they just got to bless your hearts.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
It's the South's version of you poor schmuck.
and then last but not least.
Oh, I missed the siren. I did.
No,
You
yeah,
did.
you did. You said
Amaro.
Cyrene because you said the Figli.
No, that was the Cinque.
They make
that was
more
the
than
fugly.
one. They make more than one.
Yeah.
So the Amaro del Sirene, also from the fig leaves.
Don Ciccio and Figli.
That's what I said.
That thing.
Ciccio.
What
I think we should talk about the
said.
history of American Amari. Really, I think our founding fathers were like, "You think you can make Amari? Well, these colors don't run. We're going to show you how it's done, son." And that's how we got.
And that's how it got started.
You know what? That's
Wow.
what's funny is that's exactly how Thomas Jefferson spoke.
He did.
I was
That's a
thinking
little
more
man.
Christopher Columbus. Wasn't he something like the Italians did? They probably sent him over here with some Amaro, I think. That's what I heard.
No, I think it was smallpox.
Yes.
Pretty sure it was smallpox.
Tuberculosis, maybe.
And that
yeah.
too.
Well,
sure.
smallpox and then the cure, which was
dude,
Amaro.
that's
Robert-
some
Robert
next
Smith.
level stuff right there. Yeah.
There you go. Wow.
Wow.
There's that.
Hey, you know
yeah.
what fixes that problem? Well, not really, but buy this medicine.
Wow.
That's suffering, and I'm really sorry.
Ew.
Genocide isn't funny. We don't joke about it.
No.
Sip Suds and
No.
Smokes does not condone genocide.
Or me.
we just hit number one in
Genocide?
what's a genocide country?
Russia.
Burning up the charts in North Korea.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Darfur. We just usurped you.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know what Amaro is, the
Neither
term,
do we.
well, The term bitter refers to any of the number of spirits that are flavored with bitter herbs, roots, and have been known to have medicinal qualities. Amaro is the Italian word for bitter. Now, in the grand scheme of things, a bitter can be produced by macerating, one of our favorite words, botanicals in either a neutral spirit or wine, mixing the filtrate with a sugar syrup and allowing the mixture to age in casks or bottles. And there's a whole variety of herbs and flowers and plants and barks and things that go into this.
Things that are swept off the floors of distilleries.
Bugs and sticks
Yeah.
and
Just the colors.
Cobwebs.
small animals.
Just the color of the bugs.
You know,
The color only.
Color only.
Otherwise, it's the things that really get stuck in your shoe when you're hiking.
That too.
That too. Today's episode is just going to focus on American Amaros. So, the first one
American bugs. and sticks
American
and
bugs. Yes. Yes.
Small animals.
Small animals. Tiny
Isn't it
animals.
weird that the Italian word for bitter is amaro, and the Italian word for love is amore?
Cat.
Well,
Deep
there's
thoughts.
that.
Man. Just got real.
And good old Cary was
She gets
lost in Amaro love, and then
That's
She got-
Samari.
Scratcher J. Scratcherton just gave her the claw.
hey, she
Okay.
takes her law seriously.
That's right.
She really does. She really does. But I think that this is within the last 10, 15 years, we have come out with some really interesting Amaro, and
It's part of the cocktail boom, or
I would say it is the latest in the cocktail boom. Just going back to some really earthy flavors, and it's not about sweet anymore. It's about Amaro. We'll be right back after this brief interlude. Welcome back, everyone. So for today's Sips episode, we are talking about American Amari. And the first one that we were going to be discussing...
In American, it's just Amaros.
Oh, it is
That's right.
Amaro. It's not Amari.
we don't talk that fancy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pluralization.
I am so sorry. Well, the
Take
first...
that on back to Europe.
Yeah, freedom isn't free. Costs $1.05.
That's right. $1.05.
Don't pitch in your $1.05. Who will?
I'm sure there's a song that comes
Oh,
to
yeah,
mind.
there is.
Yes. Well, the first Amaro that we're going to discuss is this really beautiful, dark, deep Letherbee Fernet from Letherbee Distillers in Chicago, Illinois. This one is 35% ABV. And
Tastes like leather, stings like a bee.
their tasting notes say it is
It's true.
their freshly refined take on the signature digestif is smooth and perhaps startlingly so. The prominence of saffron evokes popular fernets, but supporting notes of rhubarb root and myrrh gum scaffold the palate as to not let bitter notes overpower.
I can really taste the Merican.
I think I just breathed some.
Spearmint and eucalyptus lend
yeah.
a subtle, pleasant, mentholated finish. Given Leatherbee's
Subtle?
penchant
Yeah,
for
I'm,
balanced
Name
flavors, it's
subtle.
versatile.
I'm gonna just have to call BS on
think
the
they-
smooth and subtle.
I think they
That's
just
not
need
true.
to. They could have just left those words out.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's
It's
powerful.
good. I like it.
Yeah.
but it's a handful.
It reminds me of those Vicks Vapor Rub
It
or
would help
Hall's
when you put it in your
commercials with the
Coats,
with the mentholated action.
coats, man.
However, okay, so this
Well, you
is
could
a Fernet. This
Oh.
is a Fernet.
I wouldn't have guessed.
But for those of you in viewing land that do not know what a Fernet is a really dark, rich, and highly mentholated form of an Amaro.
It burns.
Fernet Branca is probably the most popular Fernet known to the world.
Not for long.
But this one, though, this one is really complex. I mean,
Burns at both ends.
It does.
That's true.
The layers on this is really intriguing, and they recommend putting this in coffee.
I was just gonna say that's a note that I got out of this was like almost like a coffee or mocha flavor somewhere in there before I got kicked in the face with menthol.
Yeah, I get a mocha on the end. Yeah. It's really neat, but it's very complex.
Yep.
And I could see just even having this like as a spritz almost, to have.
This is not a beginner Fernet, I would say.
No.
You've got to kind of work your way up.
This
to
is pro
here.
level Fernet.
Yeah, if you just started me with this, I would go, nope.
You know,
Give
this
me a
is
beer.
if Fernet Branca is the bartender's handshake, this is the bartender's sucker punch. I think
That's about right.
That's a really good analogy.
Bartender's ball slap.
Intense.
Yeah.
This is not for the faint of heart.
Nope.
But if you
I would
are
have gone the other way and said that instead of the handshake, it's the full on
yeah.
makeout.
Gotcha.
Because
Okay.
this is just deeper and more intimate.
This
than
is
the
maybe a little
Bronco.
bit more rougher than I like. Call me old fashioned.
well, there's that. So, what did we rate the Letherbee Fernet from Chicago? Most humans rated it a 3.
Our subject matter expert, however.
I
Meanwhile,
expressed bias both to the category and the distiller, and I give it a 30.
But the women of the house
All right.
agree that it's a 5.
It's a 5.
Yeah, because it is beautiful.
That means it's a 4?
Yes, that means it's a 4.
3.5. 3.5.
I think we weigh heavier.
Now, the next one up for bids is going to be the Tattersall Amaro.
What's that one look like?
It's this color. I'm colorblind.
It's
It looks
kind
like
of an
sweet
amber,
tea.
amber copper type color.
It's like that Asti.
It's probably
It's a good strong tea.
it's about a SRM of 15 to 17.
Oh my god.
Oh, fancy lad.
Um,
So the Tattersall Amaro is this is from
Sparky likes it.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay.
Okay.
It is the perfect after dinner drink. Tattersall Amaro is crafted from bitter
if
roots.
you've
you're
got
bulimic.
tuberculosis.
Dude, this is the perfect after dinner drink. If you've got the flu and your mom is putting you to bed right
Yeah,
away.
this is you know what? We ran out of Robitussin. Sorry. Keep describing. I'm so sorry.
Right
So-
time,
I can't with
sniffing,
that.
sneezing.
There are bitter roots and barks
Sure are.
finished with macerated citrus. Rich aroma will stimulate taste and engage all of your senses.
Yeah.
Well, if you
That's
start
straight
macerating
up
your citrus, it
Robitussin.
will
Yeah.
stimulate.
And this is
That tastes
30%
like cough syrup.
ABV.
This is amazingly like the crappiest cough syrup. I'm sorry. That's probably not a very elegant way of putting it. But like old school Robitussin, now they make this stuff where it actually tastes good. But there was a day when we was grown up.
And they had alcohol in them.
They had alcohol in them.
Yeah.
They tasted like not.
So
you don't
we
wanna
were
get
drinking
sick.
Amaro every time we got a cold.
So
Basically.
we need to revisit the first time we ever had a Amaro.
right.
Yeah.
So do you think this
Robitussin.
is Tattersall DM or which just D? I'm not sure which.
This is interesting because, okay, for those of you that don't know that usually listen to SIPS episodes of which I am not on, I am from Pennsylvania and pretty darn proud of it. And one thing that we have in Pennsylvania
that.
is birch beer soda.
Ooh, which is delicious.
It is. And this has a hint of birch in it, to me, anyways. Like I'm tasting birchiness.
I think for
I mean, there must be some bark that's close to it.
This bark has bite.
I feel like this has gotten birch stuck in one of my orifices.
Is it chafing?
It's not
A
just so
little
much
bit.
the flavor. I'm getting a sensation,
Yes.
a mouthfeel sensation
Like
that I
numb.
would almost describe as the same thing you get from a very oxidized beer, almost like a cardboard papery feeling.
Yeah, in the background. Yeah.
I was getting just straight up like numbness on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
It is certainly different. I will give it that. And we are going
That's not the finger you're
to
supposed to use.
Oh.
we are going to rate the Tattersall Amaro a 1.
Oh my
I'm
god.
sorry, Pennsylvania.
Water. Drink water.
Your cheesesteaks are delicious, though.
It's Minneapolis.
I thought you said Pennsylvania.
No, I'm saying that I'm
Sorry.
from Pennsylvania, and so it had a birchiness to it.
Minneapolis.
It's just so cold up there. It tastes good.
Yeah.
Prince
Any
would
port
never
in a
have
storm.
approved
Well,
of
they always
this.
have colds and flus. So
You know what,
develop a
though?
taste for
So
it.
they can't taste anything.
It
Yeah,
would,
it's just-
well, on a cold night, it would certainly warm up your lungs.
You know what? If I had the flu, I'd pound a bottle of that and go
Yeah.
to bed.
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll kill what's in you.
Yeah. It's good for that.
Yeah. A little part of me just
And
died.
it's organic, I think.
Yeah.
Totally.
Next. Okay. So the next one that we are going to talk about is Cinque, otherwise known as Five.
Cinque de Mayo.
Apertivo from Don, and forgive me if I butcher this, Don Ciccio and Figli in Washington, D.C. So their family originally distilled in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a little interesting story about their family, which I thought was kind of cool. If I could find that quickly.
It's very light.
Yeah, it is. Very sweet.
Okay, so Francesco Amadeo's family had been making liqueur since the 1880s. From 1951 until 1980, his two grandfathers made liqueurs together in the basement of one of their homes in Italy's Amalfi Coast.
Oh, I was really hoping that was in the U.S. and super illegal.
No, until an earthquake hit, which collapsed the entire house. So today, they make it in a warehouse in the middle of D.C.
Tastes like a warehouse.
That's not as romantic.
No, but I think it's really sweet that the
absolutely.
recipes, were maintained in the
Hey,
family.
kid, you want to get loaded?
they were.
It's Grandpa's recipe.
Now, Mr. Amadeo's grandfather that made this only used 5 botanicals, but he now uses 12 botanicals. But
Somebody's
again,
a little bit extra.
yeah.
Well, it probably started like back in the Depression. They had to ration their botanicals back then. You had to.
It's true. Mussolini sees them all.
Back in my day, we didn't have all these fancy botanicals. We
You
only
had 5, and you liked it.
He was happy with it.
Now, granted, this is an aperitivo, so this is a lower ABV.
Yeah,
But this,
lovely.
I really,
absolutely.
I
really
like it a lot.
enjoy
Very
this.
delicate flavor.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of a shock going from a couple of the ones we just had.
No,
to
and
this.
I think that's the American problem, right? We have to turn everything to 11, right?
Yeah.
Our IPA has to
Yeah.
rip your taste buds off, versus, and this is actually
Sit
subtle and
sit back
enjoyable.
and enjoy something that doesn't make you cry.
It reminds me of was it Aperol that we tasted in the other show? It reminds me of that. Very
Not-
light, orange.
Not quite
smooth.
as sweet.
It is. Right.
Not at all.
Not quite as sweet, and obviously not the flaming neon orange red of the Aperol. This one is more cola colored, but very subtle, very light. And as a spritz, I think this would just be phenomenal.
Absolutely, yeah.
Really, really,
I like it.
really pretty. If I can say pretty. And we rated the Cinque Apertivo from Don Ciccio and Figli a 4.
That's classified.
Ciccio.
Now,
Ciccio.
and forgive me if I am butchering this.
Ciccio.
Ciccio e Figli.
So, I was
Running off on me.
Oh boy, we're in trouble. So I was lucky enough to find not one but 2 Amaros from this distillery, which I'm really thrilled about. So the next one that we're going to talk about is the Amaro del Sirene. And this recipe dates back to 1931. 84 years have passed since this recipe was last produced. They are proud to declare the renaissance of Amaro del Sirene. Their flagship Amaro is based on an infusion of 30 select roots and herbs, highlighting eucalyptus, ripe fruit, and licorice, with a scent of gentian, lutea, chicory, and chamomile. It is matured for 12 months in French oak barrels, provided by the Merica Cuomo winery of the Amalfi Coast. So they are, paying homage to their ancestors.
That's cool.
It is kind of cool. And
Siren.
The Siren.
I love the nose on this. Really, really neat stuff going on there.
And this one is only 29%.
And when you said chicory, like, I don't know if I just automatically equated coffee with chicory from, like New Orleans stuff.
Kind of where I went too, yeah.
But yeah, totally got like the coffee kind of chicory thing.
I can pick up some of the chamomile too.
It's kind of floral.
Makes me
Definitely
relaxed.
floral. These guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, good
They
stuff.
do. I mean, this is another really beautiful expression.
No, you don't have to go to
This is
11 every
gorgeous.
time, man.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like this one's like way more. It's not crazy like one of the first couple.
No, but vastly more complex than the first one of theirs that we tried. I think.
Which, I mean, you would expect because the Apertivos in general are very light in flavor,
It obviously shows the heritage. It's like they're not just a bunch of Americans going, hey, we're going to make Amaro.
How hard could this be?
Yeah.
Right.
That they've got generations of history behind them, and you can taste it.
Yeah, you really
A
can
grandfather
tell.
to slap you if it tastes terrible. I think we all need that in our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of love in this, but the layers
Tough
on
love.
this are really cool. You
I
know,
think you get some of the wood out of it too.
Yeah.
You can tell it's been aged.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can.
You're absolutely right.
on the in the
It's got
background
a
on the
little
end.
tannin
Yeah.
on the very back, and this is really well balanced. This is lovely.
Yeah, it really is.
This is just interesting because, like, I think those first two kind of were a little too rough, and then now we've had two that are I was worried that this whole episode was going to be us. Those are terrible.
No, this is absolutely beautiful. And the Amaro del Sirene, we are rating a 5.
Oh my goodness!
Yes! 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 Yes!
And yeah, I still, I
Good
don't
job,
know if
Fig
I will,
Leaves.
I don't know if I will ever get used to that.
That's all I know.
That's what she said.
So
It's just a day in the life of Cary Ann.
so the next one that we are going to,
after the next all day.
well, it's
There
Amaro
we are.
Love at its finest, right? Or something like that.
Life is made
So-
up of the moments.
Lock House.
Yes. So the next one that we are going to talk about is from Buffalo, New York. I was really surprised and kind of thrilled that they're doing some, interesting spirits up there in Buffalo. This is from Lockhouse, and it is in the spirit of the city. We become the spirit of the city. Amaro Digestif. And this is 32% ABV.
Lots of licorice on the nose.
Yeah.
Like oceans.
There's a lot in
of
your mouth,
licorice.
too.
Oh, really?
That's what she said.
Licorice so much. It's like
Now-
my least favorite flavor of all time.
Now on the
It's in there.
back of the bottle of this, it says that it is batch 3. Just for those that are keeping score. So the tradition.
God.
So much licorice.
So
That is almost a
So I just came back from a road trip with my wife, and we stopped at this German candy store, and she got some like German salted.
yeah.
Oh, they grow, dude. And she like yells at me
That's
for
what it
eating
tastes
beef
like.
jerky on a road trip. Dude, she opened up that licorice. I thought I was gonna barf in the car. Like it's just, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm recusing myself from this beverage.
Okay.
have some more spritz.
The tradition of Amaro is long and storied. Originally produced across Italy, it is now used widely in cocktails around the world. This mahogany-hued spirit, which, yes, it's mahogany, opens with hints of orange zest and root beer, finished on sassafras and sweetened with turbinado sugar. Their Amaro is distinctive in the ever-expanding world, incorporated into a cocktail or after your next meal for a beautifully balanced
puts
digestive.
the ass in sassafras.
I could see the root beer / sassafras thing going on, but I don't know wherever the licorice flavor is coming from. Maybe licorice. It's just overpowering. I think it's for me. I'm sorry, and again, I'm probably not the best judge.
I'm ditto on that. But so you hate licorice, I hate root beer. So that's
Okay.
yeah, it has all those flavors going on in there.
Anybody else?
But it's not bad. It's just not things that I
I
like.
think licorice is a component of sassafras.
As
Though.
compared
Is it really?
to-
Okay.
Well, living in Buffalo
Uh-oh.
for a few years, I'm really enjoying this because this reminds me of the birch beer sodas that I grew up with and the root beer sodas that I grew up with.
Beef on black.
So this is home to me. And I personally, I'm going to rate this a 5 on my own because it just reminds me of home, and this is what Buffalo is about.
Yeah, I think it's well done. It's just not flavors I particularly enjoy.
And I'm a huge fan of this, but that's me.
I'll abstain.
Yes. Now, the rest of the contingency, we are rating this
I'd go this, but that's
3. We're rating this a 3.
I think it's well made. Just so much licorice on it. Just overpowers everything else.
If you like licorice, this is your jam, man.
Yeah. And if you're a fan of
Like ouzo
birch beer and these, and root,
Yeah.
or I'm sorry, barks, then you would really appreciate this, And this, I think, would. I
mean, I like absinthe, and this is still was like kind of a rough one, but I liked it, but it was just a lot.
And to me, I think something like this would go really well with bourbon because the
Don't
vanilla.
ruin my bourbon.
Yeah, but the sweetness, the vanilla and bourbon sweetness that mix with this would like kind of cut through.
I can see that.
And for some, that thought it was a little too heavy, I think it would balance it out a bit. But I think this is really nice. To be continued when we return. Welcome back, everyone. So we are in the middle of a beautiful Sips episode where we are talking about American Amaro. Oh,
American Amaro.
America.
Speaking of America, the next one that we are going to talk about is the Green Bar Distillery Grand Poppy Amaro.
Big Poppy.
Made in the City of Angels. And this is 20% ABV. The California native poppies and bay leaves, along with citrus and pink peppercorn, they gathered.
Sounds like a turkey brine.
Gathered on their nature hikes and inspired them to make to capture the Golden State in a bottle. So
a lot of citrus.
Golden.
I can taste the Kardashian.
There's a lot of citrus
it's
on the nose.
It's a floral adventure with a bittersweet finish.
It's actually
Wait, so
quite
is it
nice.
saying it contains poppies?
Oh,
So
man.
we're drinking
Gonna
opium.
fail a drug test
Did you say
tomorrow.
it contains puppies?
Drinking
Yeah,
opium.
just the small ones, the fluffy
We're
ones.
drinking puppies.
Yeah, the floral notes on this are just huge.
Yeah. No, I actually
Very-
like this a lot. It's just
that.
so different. It's like really kind of its own thing.
This is, and a shout out to Baltimore, Maryland,
This is good.
because this is where Of Love and Regret, which for those of you that don't know me, I'm a big beer fan.
And she's from Pennsylvania.
I'm from Pennsylvania.
And
yes.
you still haven't been to Josephine. I know. What's wrong with you, man? Seriously.
I know.
That's a
I know.
rip.
I know.
That's a deep dig.
That's it. That is a deep dig. But
Fail.
I am a huge fan of Baltimore. And when I learned to drive, which was back when I was 16, if I wasn't in New York going to CBGB's, I was in Inner Harbor, Baltimore. Anyways, Of Love and Regret is one of my favorite places in Baltimore. And that is where Stillwater Artisanal Ales has their bar.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah. So the cool thing about Of Love and Regret is that you can actually purchase the alcohol that they serve. When they make a cocktail,
Oh, you can actually walk out with it.
You can walk out.
Oh, that's badass.
With the
That's
bottles.
cool.
I know it is kind of cool.
Kentucky.
Well, yeah.
Well, there's that.
Tennessean is ten of believing.
So, anyways, I was thrilled to be able to take this home because it was served in a cocktail, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is this stuff?"
What was the cocktail?
It was a Negroni.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This wasn't a Negroni.
it wasn't a Negroni, and it was so different, than what we are used to. But I really enjoyed the herbal notes on it that I had to bring a bottle home.
No, like Kendall said, I mean, it's so floral and just really,
It's beautiful.
but not like gross perfume kind of thing. It's like a balanced kind of.
No,
very refreshing.
And
I could
knowing
use
that
as
this is-
aftershave.
good. Yeah, well, I'll send you home with some. But knowing that this is from California, this makes sense that this is very Californian. You know what I mean? It's
You mean it tastes like hippies?
kind of.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, it does.
Yeah. And it's
funny,
very.
it hardly has any nose.
The
No,
taxes.
I know, it
the
doesn't.
taxes.
So I wasn't expecting a lot, but it's
getcha.
really delicate, and it does go through a number of levels of different flavors.
Yeah, it's very layered considering.
But yeah, there's almost nothing on the nose. That's odd.
So what do you guys want to...
We're going to rate the
Props.
Green Bar Distillery Grand Papi Amaro a 4.
Good job, Grand
Classified.
Poppy.
And you know what I like about it? Okay. The thing about Amaro, ladies and gents, is when you get some of these, they are very lip smacking. And I'm really smacking my lips with this one because it's just layer after layer after layer.
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't
It's a
think
fun
of it
one.
looking at the color because it is on the lighter spectrum.
Yeah. That's I was
of
expecting
Amaros.
it to be something a little bit different.
I know.
And,
The viscosity on it is thick, but it's not super sweet. You know, the floral really comes out on it.
Definitely.
Which I thought was really interesting for that Negroni because, you know, Negronis in general tend to be a little bit heavier and, you know, kind of bold.
Well, it has some savory notes in it too.
Yeah. But very good.
I think those bay leaves come through.
Maybe the
Get on with yourself, Green Bar,
Yeah.
and your Grand Poppy.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. The next one that we are going to talk about is from Breckenridge, Colorado. And this is the Breckenridge Bitter.
For some reason, this is very full.
It's very
do that on purpose.
I did not.
No, it was me. It was heavy-handed. Hand harvested alpine herbs mingle with ancient bitter
I already hate
roots.
them hand harvested. Give me a break.
It's Colorado. Okay, it's Colorado.
All right.
And spicy dried fruits and a symphony of aromas and flavors that recall the mystery of old world alchemy. This exquisite aperitif bitter strikes a remarkable balance of alluring aromatics and
That
bittersweet
sneaks up on ya.
flavors.
That just comes
Do
whomping
you know how
and
you
a
catch a
stomping.
unique? Do you know how you catch a unique rabbit?
Unique up on it.
Do you know how you catch a tame rabbit?
The tame way.
Unique up on it.
You got me on that one.
Yeah.
You're
Now-
sly. I like you.
This one
Yeah.
is 36%.
Oh. I could use it for lighter fluid, I think.
And you know what's interesting? On their website, they have a recipe. It's called the Wee Bitter. It's 1 measure of Breckenridge bitters and 1 pint of cold IPA.
Okay.
There's one way
That-
to ruin an IPA.
I don't really like this, but I would try that because I think that works with the right IPA. These flavors would play
They would.
much better.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is just kind of harsh, I think, because of the high alcohol content more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think mixed into the right IPA,
Yeah.
it could be good.
Or you could just have the IPA.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Although we should try that. Do you have any IPA in the house?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
After the show, we got to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
We will.
This is jet fuel.
But this is
The proof isn't high enough to account for the harshness of this.
Right.
Because,
It's-
we've tasted
there's a
plenty
heat.
of things.
I
in
don't
Yeah.
think they
that.
washed their hands when they
category.
harvested those herbs.
What is,
Maybe they
what
had
is their
angry
base
hands.
spirit? Does it say?
it doesn't say.
That's
Gasoline.
No, it just says it has a lot of alpine herbs.
Oh, yeah.
Unless it says something
Dipped
there.
in
on them.
gasoline. Yeah, that's pretty.
I wonder if it's just their straight liquor before they put it in the bourbon barrels.
Some white dog.
Yeah, just some moonshine.
Hey, we have some leftover stuff. We could do this with it.
Yeah.
Oof.
What is that? The tails? Maybe that's what it is. It's the
Speaking of going blind.
That's the heads.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
You speak from experience,
The
Cary
tails
Ann.
will make you blind. Yeah, this is
That's
not
what she
my
said.
favorite.
So we rated the Breckenridge Bitters a 2.
Well, isn't that nice?
Okay. Moving on. This is one that good old gal Cary Ann brought to us.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Yay, good old guy carrying.
We're going to talk about the Amaro Applamado from Falcon Spirits.
Is that like a combination apple and tomato?
Yes, and it came.
Avocado.
It was a genetic
Because
mistake.
it's from California.
What
I was a
what-
big fan of Applamado 6 back in the 80s. Remember them? Wow.
What are you talking about?
No. It's like it was
You-
one of
you had to
Prince's
see
days. Yeah.
Purple Rain
Yeah.
to know.
It's really like they're so different when you go from one to the next. It's kind of a
Not
jolt.
like this
A
one.
jolt
Whiplash,
as you
I
get
know.
from one into
Yeah.
the next.
It's like a gingerbread cookie or something.
Yeah, a lot of cinnamon on the finish.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is 32% ABV. It's an herbal liqueur that has a unique balance of the bitter and sweet elements with a solid herbal backbone. This is a unique Amaro, less sweet than most Amari and more herbal forward. It has a lovely herbal and orange aroma, wonderful body and mouthfeel, which lingers pleasantly. And oh, wait, sorry. What one was I
Wrong,
talking?
Amaro.
No. That is it. That is it.
And when the light hits that bottle, you can see this saffron color really strongly.
Yeah,
got-
it is.
And you can feel that in the way that it coats your mouth, the way
So-
that it coats the bottle.
This was a finalist in the Good Food Awards for their herbs. Now, there is some artichoke in here and some vanilla bean, some allspice, some licorice,
Allspice. Okay.
some
that's what I'm
rosemary,
getting.
and some
Yeah.
rhubarb.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, definitely pick up that allspice. It's like a piece of that little spice cake. You know those little.
I hadn't tasted this in a minute. I really do like it.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
I haven't even had a drink of it in a minute or two, but I still taste that. And the spice cake is, you
Yeah.
nailed it right
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
that's a really good way to put it for sure.
That really is. I mean, this is different from anything that we've really had today.
Which
Wow.
is amazing after 40 bottles of Amaro.
I know, but it's very light though on the tongue.
yeah,
though,
even though it's dark,
you know?
it's still pretty light.
It's very. I know it's very
don't-
dark.
That's profound.
Yeah.
Don't snort it. Drink it.
It goes
That's
down
the lesson here.
pretty easy.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I think I'm
Like
still.
So smooth.
I think the Breckenridge wrecked me, or like burned out my septum, or something like that. So.
Wrecked him.
Oh.
Damn near killed him.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, totally get the like holiday cookie thing going on there.
It is. And this is, I mean, for all the Amaros that we have tasted recently, this is something that's in a completely different wheelhouse, you know? But
It kind of combines like two or three of the things we've tasted, like from the Chinar to the. It's all these flavors mixed together.
yeah, it is.
Really, really like this one.
I can see why you would. But considering this is from California, this is completely different from the Poppy Amaro from Green
And it's
Bar.
the same proof.
Isn't that nuts?
So
There's-
that's not the problem.
Yeah.
So this is
No.
a grape and grain spirit. That much we do know about it. Yeah, I'm curious. Only a couple of them name the base spirit. So one of them actually says vodka, but not many of them name their base spirit. I think that's an important piece of information to have.
Yeah. So we are going to rate this one
I like that one.
20.
20. 4-ish for some humans and 20 for other humans. So 4.
All right, we're rounding up.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
Yes! 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 Yes!
I just wanted to play that sound effect again.
of course you did. So now,
I like to hear people happy.
oh, you're
That
so
is what
sweet.
happiness sounds like.
So now we are going to talk about.
How come you didn't get us any Jepson Malort?
Oh, I've got some at the house. I was going to ask if we need to bring that into this
Shut up.
episode 3.
Yeah,
We're going to have
episode
a
3.
Malort segment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Are there more than one Malort?
No, there's like some
Jepson's
Well,
hipster.
there's
tried
like-
to-
yeah.
Jepson's tried to own the name Malort, and Malort is just another word for bitter, as is Basque and a whole bunch of words that mean bitter. So I don't know why they think they own it, but
Oh, come on. Why would you make a knockoff Malort? That's just like,
there are improvements that have been made
how
on
could you
Malort.
improve?
Just think,
In
there's a lot of
Chicago.
people that live in Chicago.
By a
so
distillery
they
called
could, they could
Letherbee.
do more than one
I'll
Malort.
bring you one.
But Malort is the worst thing in the world. Why would
It
you want
is.
to
It
replicate
is.
more?
That's what they put in the baby bottles in Chicago.
Oh,
that's
God.
that's why they all love it.
That explains so much.
Well, that's them.
That's why
And then
Chicagoans
me
are such
and.
jerks.
Excuse you?
Hey.
Chicagoans.
Hey.
And then me in
Not all of them, just
Pennsylvania,
got
it was
dismissed.
rock and rye.
Rock and Rye is delicious.
I know, but that's what I had. That's what I was.
That explains a lot on both sides of that.
Yeah, and it explains a lot about
At
me.
the bar when you were.
Ed Miller
No,
Lite.
you're cool, but
Yeah. She was
Miller
hanging
Lite's
out.
my bottle. Yeah.
more it's like bottled hatred.
It's
It's not good.
it's its own thing.
It's something.
Anyway.
So you're going to bring that next time.
I will.
Awesome.
I'll bring
Good.
a bottle of
Bring a big bottle of hatred.
Jepson's more.
Yes. Okay. Next one that we were going to talk about is the Southern Amaro liqueur from Highwire Distilling
Oh, you skipped our balsam. We have
in
to go straight
Charleston.
to.
No. They were doing that last.
Well, we don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to do this one last
Right.
because
So
That would be
this is
sour.
a southern expression of an Italian classic. Their signature Amaro is handcrafted from regionally grown and foraged ingredients such as Charleston black tea, Yupon holly, Dancy tangerine, and mint.
is there anus? I smell anus.
Sip
There's anus.
by itself as a digestif or used in a riff as a classic cocktail. This is 60 proof, and they recommend putting it in a Negroni.
I recommend putting it in
Boulevardier.
anything that would cover it up. It smells a little like a tinge of vomit. It has that, I don't like this, but not in the bad way, but it has that, a lot of things have that little tinge of.
But this has a
like
licorice
soured.
tinge to it.
It's got a
on the
licorice. You
yellow.
can taste the tea.
I definitely get the black tea.
tea,
That's about the
yeah.
only thing I'm tasting in this.
I smell licorice. I taste the tea, and then it has like a kind of a papery finish.
It's too much sugar to balance out the rest of
All
it.
right.
It's just,
So what do we want to?
We're going to rate the Southern Amaro from Highwire Distilling a 2.
Well, isn't that nice?
Now, the last one that we are going to talk about today.
Are you guys ready to put my balsam in your mouth? It's going to be good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
Open wide.
Gently.
this is Balsam American Amaro. It is made with over 30 ingredients, including herbs, roots, spices, wormwood, and rare teas. The nuance of dozens of rare botanicals with one ingredient, bittersweet liqueur consisting of brandy and fruit and spices. This is 44% ABV.
yeah.
Okay.
You know what else
It's not
it
It
is?
is
alcohol I'm
super
tasting.
dark.
And it's super syrupy. You know what else it is?
It's
Tastes like Worcestershire sauce. What do you
I
guys?
kind of like it.
Oh, no.
I'm right there with
Me
you.
and Julie
I'll
are
give it
4
a
on
this.
this.
I don't hate it. It's
So
it's
all right,
a lot.
we're gonna
after-
give it a 3.
No, we're giving okay. I'm
says
giving it
no.
a 4.5 into a 5.
I
Because it's from Pennsylvania, but B, I love the complexity of
Yeah.
this one.
I dug it.
It's so many layers.
It's so viscous and syrupy, though.
really-
I'm not
a
sure
lot.
I'm going to keep
and
it
it
down.
stays with you.
Yeah, well, there's lots of things. That
It
stay
might be.
with you
It
don't
might
want.
leave.
But to me, but to me, this is what Amaro's about. Okay, fine.
It's
I
fun.
have some.
Did we say what we
Yeah,
rated this?
there's
Oh,
a
it's
3.
been said.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much for joining us on this American Amaro fantasy tour. We hope you enjoy this episode, and you can find us anywhere you found it, as well as
Wherever you
you can find us anywhere, but including radio, satellite, online at iTunes, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and nearly any place that you can
Waffle
listen
House.
to a podcast. You can probably find us at Waffle House
on
at 2
the
a.m.
jukebox.
on the jukebox at 2 a.m. The easiest way to find the show on your phone is to ask Alexa, Siri, Google, or Uncle Larry, play podcast, Sips, Suds, and Smokes.
We love your feedback, and you can reach us online at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com.
Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every day at Sips Suds Smoke, and our Facebook page is almost as buzzed as we are. Check it out.
Do us a favor and take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well. 5 stars.
Tasty case of
Good old boy Dave, say goodbye.
Hey, check me out on Instagram at Good Old Boy Dave.
Good old boy Kendall.
It was a pleasure. Thank you. My beautiful wife and I blog about the good news of good beer at beermakes3.com.
Good old boy Sparky, say goodbye.
Goodbye, Sparky.
Good old gal Cary Ann.
Thanks so much for this bitter experience. Find me on Straight Up 615 where I'm bitter all day.
This is good old gal Julieanna. Keep on chuggling and see you next time.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sips, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.